Get ready, folks. We're going to cook up some smothered pork chops. Talk about comfort food. Let's go to the kitchen. Hello, my friends. How are you doing? We're going to cook us up some smothered pork chops, fried taters, and some rice with beans. First thing we need to do, or we've already done, we cut our taters. You know how I cut my taters. If you watch, I just slice them 1/4 inch. Wash them up, slice them 1/4 inch, put them in a bowl, put a little seasoning salt on them, shake them up. That's what we've done with that. We've also cut us an onion. That's what I'm after, halfway. Didn't want you guys to have to sit and watch all that. Video's been getting a little long. We're going to kind of shorten them down a little bit. All right, we got 4 pork chops. You can see a little less than 1/2 inch. They're not real thick. We're going to start out by, and what I'm putting on here is already in my flour. We're going to season salt them a little bit. Crush that down a little bit. A little garlic powder. We're not going to put a whole lot on here because we're going to put some in the pan also as we're cooking. Onion powder. I think we put some in here. All right. Let's shake this out of. I think this is actually granulated garlic or granulated onion. That's good enough. We ain't gonna put a whole lot because, like I said, also we're gonna have onions in it. I want me some paprika. We're not gonna go a whole lot. Smoked paprika at that. And we're gonna flip them over, and same thing on the other side. Just a dusting. I'm not going to go real heavy on anything because we've also got it in our flour over here. Onions. So I think that's granulated onion. Doesn't look like powder to me. A little paprika, and again it is smoked. All right, I'm just going to kind of pat that in a little bit so that it doesn't completely come off when we put it in this flour over here. And there we go. Grab my towel. All right. We're going to set them in our flour, coat them on both sides and on the edges. We're not going to go crazy. We don't need to. We're not deep frying these. See if I can make a mess. Usually I do this and I flip it all over the counter because I flip too hard. And we're just going to put these in this bowl. And just let them sit for a little bit. I'm not going to cut that fat off because I'm going to fry them up. And that fat will render down a little bit, and what doesn't will get crispy. There we go. Okay, we got our pan getting hot. Over here, I've got some beans and rice I'll show you what I've got here. This is a Nellie's Zesty Rice and Bean Mix. I had a cup and a half left. Cup and a half to like 3 3 1/4 cups of water. Boil the water. Once it boils, put the beans and the rice in. Stir them in, cover them, let them simmer for 15 minutes. Or basically until the water's gone. Then let them set for 5 minutes after that. We're letting our water or grease heat up here. I only put like 3 tablespoons or so in here. And we're just gonna lay these in here. Don't want to crowd them too much. Pretty sure we can get all 4 of them in there pretty easily. There we go. And this counter is really unlevel. I'd like for it to sit a little better, but that's the best we're going to get. Get rid of our bowl. We're going to let these cook for a little bit. I got taters back over here, sitting and waiting to go. Here's for anybody that's new, and you're not going to be able to see it because no light. Let's see if we can put some light on the subject. There we go, a little bit. 1/4 inch, and then I got seasoning salt on them. I don't want to wait too long on them because they'll turn brown on me. So we're going to get this rolling here. As soon as these are done, we're going to, matter of fact, we'll clean out our bowl. Just had a little flour in it. Because we're going to pull these and then put them off to the side. Just out of our way for a little bit. And we're also going to need it's not the right, yeah it is. It actually fits it. What do you know? We're not going to need that yet a while, but we are going to need the lid. Alright, as soon as I get these browned up, turned over, we'll be back. Alright? Hey, yeah, it's me, Monster. Hit that notification bell down there, and please subscribe. Alright, we've added about 3 or 4 more tablespoons of oil. Reason being is because I'm going to fry some onions in there, and these, you're not cooking these all the way through, so all you want is to get them browned up. This one actually needs to move over here towards some more heat. Get that one a little browner. That looks good. Let me pull that out. That one looks nice. And that one definitely looks nice. We're going to go another couple of seconds on this one. And while we're doing that, we can actually go ahead and mix these in around here. I want to break them up. Still got a couple more over there on the counter we're going to put in here. So we can go ahead and start getting these cooked up here. As they start cooking, they'll finish loosening up. So what I'm after, I want them all separated. We're going to let them cook. Whoop, tore a crust off. There we go. That's what we're after. We just want them browned up a little bit. I'll go ahead and pull this one out. And these things need a little seasoning. Put them in there like that. It'll take me a little. This is pink Himalayan salt. You can use whichever one you can use regular salt. You don't have to use the pink. Just kind of what I like. I'm going to sweat these down pretty good. I want these to start to caramelize. I'm going to check our beans here. Beans and rice, they're getting really close. I'll say, oh, leave the lid on that rice. It'll cook. You don't have to mess with it. Yeah, you do, because it'll stick to the bottom big time. I know they tell you just leave it alone, even the package. They just put it in there. What they're after is they don't want you losing a lot of the steam, a lot of the water. But I can always add water to it to keep it from sticking to the bottom, because it will burn quick. Let me get our stuff over here we're going to need. I do not have chicken stock, so I made some. This is the chicken bouillon cube type stuff. I don't have the cubes. What I have is the chicken bouillon flavoring. So get it up where you can see it. I used about 2 tablespoons to that 2-cup pitcher. Actually, a little over 2 cups. About 2.5 because I went way over the 2-cup mark. Get these things grilled up. Still got a little ways on these. So we're going to let that cook a few more minutes and then we'll get back with you. Okay. Now it totally depends on you of how dark you want your onions. That's plenty good for me. They're starting to brown up there. I'm going to cut them down there. I'm going to put me a little butter here in the middle. A couple tablespoons, or a tablespoon and a half or so. Because you know me, I like garlic. So we're going to put a tablespoon or so of garlic right there in the middle. And that butter will keep it from burning. Spread that out a little bit. We're just going to let it sit there and let that garlic sink in. That garlic, when you start smelling it, then it's ready to rock and roll. Got a little more oil than I really wanted, but it'll be all right. Because I'm going to make quite a bit of this sauce. If you want to call it a gravy or a sauce, or it's just good, believe me. All right, I can smell my garlic, so I need to do away with my tongs. So get this bad boy out. We're going to get our flour that we had over there a while ago, and I do this by eyeball. But whatever butter and oil you put in, say you put in 3 tablespoons altogether, then that's what you're going to want to mix flour-wise. Because you're basically making a roux. Get that stirred in. I know, it looks horrible right at the moment. It doesn't look like much. We're going to let it cook here a second, get rid of that flour flavor, because you will get a flour taste if you don't let it cook a minute. Alright, we're going to take and stir this up a little better. We got that chicken seasoning down in there. Alright, we should be ready here. Alright. And anything that's on the bottom, this is a non-stick pan. But if you're cooking in like cast iron or something, and you get a stickies on the bottom, right here, they will release when you do this. I might have to get me a big cast iron skillet. I like my little one. I got another one out on the griddle. We'll get rid of that spoon. I'm adding it in slowly to let it heat back up. A little bit at a time. And like I said, I know this does not look appetizing right at the moment. But it will get really smooth. You can either use, like I'm doing, or you can do regular chicken stock out of a can, or I don't think I'm probably going to use all of this. Yeah, why not? We're going to use the whole 2.5 cups. We're going to let her sit here a minute, warm back up, it'll thicken up. What I'm going to do is put these chops back in here and let them simmer with it a little bit so they'll tenderize a little more. That's what we're going to do now. Set this down here. We're going to go ahead and grab our chops. I think we got her mixed up enough here. My tongs are starting to come apart. I'm going to put these back in here now. And as you can tell, they're still a little juicy. Looks like kind of a little bloody. So they are not cooked all the way, which is what I wanted, because I'm going to let them sit here and simmer once they start to simmer for probably 15 minutes or so. So I'll make sure I got everything mixed in. Don't want any flour lumps. I'm going to get her back up to temperature here. I got her set on 300 right now, which is about medium heat. And then these are done, so we can turn that off. I'm going to start to simmer back up now. I'm going to go back to my tongs. I like my tongs for this kind of stuff. You can get in between everything. If I was scraping the bottom, then yeah, I'd use this. And these things are so handy. You can use them for anything. I bought this for a whole buck at the dollar store yesterday. That's Dollar General too, so in case anybody's looking for it. All right. I'm gonna wipe our counter down here a little bit. We've got stuff going everywhere. And I know people will say, well, will you lay these down on the counter and all? It's not a restaurant, folks. It's my food. If I was cooking in a restaurant like I did many, many, many years ago, I'd be a little different, but this is just me. We're starting to thicken back up, which is what we're after. And now I'm going to do something most people didn't see coming. We're actually going to use this bowl here. One heaping spoonful of sour cream. Oop. Well, messed that up, didn't I? I gotta mix that in, but we gotta see if we can get that up real quick. This will make it creamier. So that your gravy or sauce or whatever you want to call it here is a little creamier. Mix it up as well as you can. You can see it's melting down in there pretty quick. Can't really get a mix on it like I'd like, but it melts down in there pretty quickly. All right, we made a mistake here, and we're gonna have to see if we can fix it. This is why I keep a towel on this most of the time anyway. This top has been messed up since I got it. We're gonna see if we can get that hot plastic off of there real quick. All right, let me turn this down. We're down here about 260. And I am going to take my little baby whisk. We're going to push these up here out of the way. Get this stirred up real well. If you had some mushrooms, a can of mushrooms or something you wanted to add to this, now would be the time to do it. Or if you had fresh mushrooms, you could put them in when you did your onions, right at the end of your onions. You wouldn't want to put them in at the same time. They'd be done too quick, but right at the end. All right. I got that good and stirred up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to yank that lid over there and put on it. And we're going to turn it down there about 210 and let her sit. We're going to get us a towel here and see if we can finish this. This is still red hot. Yeah, it looks like we cleaned up all right. Got the plastic off anyway. It's, like I said, it's been burnt since I got it. So we're going to go over there and drop my taters in, which y'all seen before, so we don't have to go through that again. So I'm going to get that done, let this simmer, and we'll be back. All right, folks, and one that I should have done earlier and didn't. Should have put it on the meat, but we're just going to put it on here. Some black pepper. And, of course, it's to taste, however much you like. I'm just going to mix that in there. These are just about done. Turn them over here. Get them onions moved around a little bit. Get that black pepper in there without spilling it over the edges. Still got about 5 or 6 more minutes. Let them keep cooking. We're about 12 to 15 minutes in here. We're going to pull these out. Now we're going to put them in this bowl. These things are red hot. I want to put them in here. Put them over here out of the way. Because my sauce is a little thinner than I like. So we're going to get some of that scrapings up off the bottom there. Get it all mixed up there, thicken it up a little more where I can stir it so I would pull them out. Actually, it's not bad. So as soon as my taters are done, which is about 2 or 3 more minutes, we'll be ready to rock and roll, but I'm going to leave it sit here just so it'll thicken up just a tad more. So as soon as they're done, we'll plate it up and we'll give her a taste. All right, we got her done. Let's get her plated up. We're going to take us a couple pieces of this. Well, here first. This is the way I wanted to do it. I'm going to take me a shot of this rice. And it's got beans in it as well as rice. We're going to take that and put me a nice little helping right there, because I haven't eaten today and I'm starving. Put that up there. Get me a pork chop there. A couple of them. These are pretty small pork chops. But then we're going to take and go over here. Oh, put some gravy on there. We're going to get us some pork. I'm hoping we don't need it, but we're going to get a steak knife just in case. And we'll put my taters on there in a minute. Let's get us a piece of this pork chop. Don't think I really needed it. Oh man, that is good. Oh, you know me, I don't bullshit you. That's good. One thing that I might recommend that you change, I use like 2 1/3 or 2 1/2 cups of that chicken stock. I only use 2 cups. 2 cups even, good gravy. But it actually turned out really well. I just had to simmer it for like an extra 5 minutes for it to work out with the lid off. But man, that is good. And that gravy on that rice. And it has little beans in there. I threw the tub away. No, I didn't either. You can use just regular rice, but this is what I chose to use. And I really like the stuff. I'm holding on to the container because I want to get some more. I'm out of it. We're going to put some taters on here, and I'm going to eat. So, till next time, see ya. I told you I was hungry. And I also told you it was good. I ain't kidding. I'll probably pay for eating all that later, though. No pork chops. But it's just as good the next day. Rice with gravy on it. Yum, yum. Do miss the pork chop, though. It was good.